Hi, let me just check. All right. Okay, so let's see this some live. All right. Okay, so before I start, let me introduce myself. I'm Vani Kari, biology educator at Unacademy. I'm an engineer with bachelor's and master's degree in biotechnology and a B.Ed degree. Also a founder of a startup where I grow microgreens by vertical farming technology. So join with us in Telegram. So that is for homework and class notes. You can join the channel Vani Kari ICSE Class 9 and 10 Biology and the Telegram channel of Unacademy ICSE and IEC boards. So this link you can find in the description box. Okay. So go to the description box, click on the link and join the channel of Unacademy ICSE and ISE boards. Okay. So we conduct special classes on Unacademy platform, so which are absolutely free classes. So all you have to do is download the Unacademy Learners app from Play Store. Okay, so learn from your favorite educator for free because these classes are free classes where certain percentage of topics will be covered here on the platform. You can also engage with the educators via poll because different educators are coming up with different themed sessions. Okay, so you will have access to their sessions because these are absolutely free classes where you can even attend the quizzes conducted by them, so that it will be a practice. So right now, so like revision, the quizzes and all are going on, so especially the plus classes we mentioned, so there we are conducting the revision for your midterm. Okay, so you can just go ahead with the subscription as well using the codes, so that is for plus classes. Also there is a question tab where you can type in your question. You even have an option to attach an image and send it to the educator during a live session, so that they'll be clearing your doubts during the live special class itself. Okay, so now for the top special classes you can visit the link in the description. So in description basically you will find the link for special classes, you will find the link for community, you will find the link for bucks bounty, and also there is a link for the Unacademy Telegram channel. So you can click on those specific links and join in there. And these are about the plus classes conducted on the platform. Okay, so plus classes here basically you can learn live from the comfort of your home. Okay, so these are the features where 100% syllabus coverage will be done. Okay, and other than that unlimited access to all the courses will be there. Now different educators will come up with their own courses, so you will have access to their courses once you take the subscription. Okay, so unlimited access to all the courses. Then top educators of India are going to take the classes in one platform, so that is Unacademy platform. Then there is a regular doubt clearing session that will be conducted. So after about every 3 sessions, the fourth session will be your doubt clearing session. Okay, so whatever doubts you have related to the topics that are previously covered, so you can clear your doubt in this doubt clearing session. So basically let's say all your doubts are done, so we can also conduct a poll for you all, or some question answer discussion, like structured question discussion might be going on, or I might even ask you questions. You can raise a hand, you can even answer the particular question. So basically it is more of an interactive session. All right, then complete syllabus will be covered, mentorship and guidance will be given, the study material is given, and practice tests are also given. So live test series are conducted. So basically you will have access to all of this. The PDF format, it will be whatever the notes that we are uploading, so that you can download. So it will be in the form of a PDF itself. And also you will have access to batches. So we have a batch in English, we have a batch in English as well. So once you take the subscription, so you will have access to both the batches. Okay, so there is a daily practice section, weekly mock test series are conducted, live quizzes are there, and also you will have access to daily MCQ and subjective test series as well. Okay, so there is a limited period offer going on for ICSE and ISE learners, which you can make a best use of, because there is a price hike that is coming soon. So before that happens, you can just go ahead with this offer, where you can take the subscription for 12 months. So if you are taking the subscription for 12 months, so 1 month is the free extension, and Creative Corner free extension you have up to 3 months. Okay, so if you are going for 18 months of subscription, so 2 months free extension, 3 months free extension on Creative Corner. So Creative Corner is basically where you can enhance your hobbies. Okay, so like let's say there are workshops which are going on, so you will have access to this. Vedic mathematic workshops might be going on, or maybe there is a workshop which is going on astronomy and astrophysics, or about the computer programming, or literally. So basically it is, you will have access to different workshops that are conducted on a different knowledge based concepts itself. So you can go ahead with this. All right, and if you are going for 24 months of subscription, so basically 3 months extra you are getting, and 6 months extension on the Creative Corner for all of this. That is specifically the 36 months, 48 month, and here it is 4-month extension, and here it is 5-month extension. So you can just plan well, because right now the prices are still the same, but the price hike is coming soon. So you can just go ahead with these offers right away. So maybe you can plan for a year or two. Okay, and get your subscription before the Creative Corner price hike. So this offer is only till 8th. Okay, so you can plan ahead well itself and go for the subscription. So you can use the code VANIYT. So this is my code. So with this code you can get up to 10% discount on the subscription. So there is a combo offer as well. So this link you can anyway find in the description again. Okay, so start your preparation early. So this is for ICSE Class 10 1-year subscription. Just a second, let me just look this. Okay, yeah, so this is 1-year subscription of Class 10, and the same way there are a lot of learners who start their preparation early. So that is for JEE, NEET as well as NTSE. So you can start your preparation early too. So that is by taking this combo offer, where the cost is reduced from 34,500 to 31,050, and the overall code basically to get 10% discount is VANIYT. So you can use this code to get 10% discount on the subscription. So basically you can take a subscription for JEE, NEET as well as NTSE along with your Class 10, so that you are preparing for the competitive exams also early in the meantime. Okay, so this is this is a 1-year subscription including both, so you can go ahead with this one. Okay, so price hike is coming soon, so you can just plan ahead. Maybe you can go with the 1 or 2 year subscription, so that you can save much more amount. So act fast to save on your preparation. So again the same code, so that is basically VANIYT can be used to get 10% discount on your subscription. So price, like current prices are these. So for 12 months of subscription it is 17,250. Okay, and with the code VANIYT, so basically you will be getting 10% discount on this particular amount. Okay, and so today we'll discuss about the diagram based questions. Okay, so that is diagram based questions on photosynthesis. So let's have a look at this, and the questions that I have added here. So these are taken from together with. So this is diagram based questions on photosynthesis we are going to discuss today. Alright. So yes, have you all practiced this? So the questions that I have added, so these are taken from together with. So some of the previous year questions are also there. So let's have a look at this. So the diagram given below represents, I hope you can see this, just a second. Yes. So the diagram given below represents the relationship between a mouse, okay, and a physiological process that occurs in a green plant. So study the diagram and answer the questions that follow. So this question was asked in the year 2017. So that means it is a previous year question. Okay, so you can just concentrate on this. So you can just have a look at this and what exactly is happening inside this bell jar. So that is, based on this picture you can analyze. All right. So now, sunlight is there and you can see there is a mouse and there is a candle over here. So next what exactly happens? The mouse is gonna die. All right, and now so same way, the same setup with a slight modification is done. So mouse is also placed, candle is also there, and there is a plant which is placed. So why exactly mouse is alive here and why exactly mouse is dead here? Okay, so you just have to analyze this particular picture. So what exactly happens in photosynthesis? So carbon dioxide is used up, that is the atmospheric carbon dioxide. So water is anyway given there, that is for a certain while. So this is a potted plant, so the water has been added. So it is getting the water also. So now using the sunlight, since it is a green plant, it will take up that sunlight from the sun, and excitation of the, or we can say activation of chlorophyll occurs. So what is the product there? The product is basically oxygen release, you can see, and there is a water. Okay, so water is also being used up, oxygen release is seen. Okay, so glucose is being synthesized. So now the same oxygen is utilized by this mouse, and hence to some extent, yes, this mouse is able to survive until and unless, until the time the oxygen is provided then. Okay, so here what is happening, since there is no plant, so there is no oxygen production. So without the oxygen the mouse is gonna die, but whereas here it is getting the oxygen and hence it is surviving, so it is alive here. So let's have a look at this. Name the physiological process occurring in the green plant that has kept the mouse alive. So what is that process? Anybody? What process is that? Is that a transpiration, or is that a absorption? Is that a chemical coordination? So what process is this? So this is basically photosynthesis process. Okay, so what exactly happens? The carbon dioxide is used up and there is a release of oxygen. So the process is basically photosynthesis process. So explain the physiological process which is mentioned above. So what exactly is photosynthesis? Just a second. Yes, what exactly is a photosynthesis process? So that is by using the atmospheric carbon dioxide and water is taken through the root. So basically in the presence of sunlight and chlorophyll, so there is a activation of chlorophyll occurring, and using these raw materials, so there is a synthesis of glucose is done. So it is a preparation of food is being done. So that is done by the plant using the sunlight and the green pigment. Okay, so that is the process. So that is photosynthesis, food preparation in case of plant. So what is that food? It is basically glucose. Okay, so why did the mouse die in bell jar B? So why exactly did it die? So that is because whatever oxygen was there, so you know for burning also oxygen is required. Now for candle burning, so whatever amount of oxygen was there, so that has been used up. So basically you can see there is no oxygen itself in the bell jar B, because you know all the oxygen has been used up, and that is the reason the flame has been put off. Okay, so now this mouse which is this, so it has not got the oxygen for its survival, so the mouse dies. Okay, so what is the significance of the process as stated in 1, that is for life on earth? The photosynthesis process is basically a primary producer, like plants we say primary producer. So without this there wouldn't be any food for any living organisms. Okay, so we all are depending on the plant itself in one or the other way for the food. So that way basically we are in requirement of these primary producers. So if there is no photosynthesis, there is no food for even us, not just plant, even all the animals. So even though let's say there are non-vegetarians, but you know the animals that they eat, so in one or the other way they are again dependent on the plant itself for food, and that's the reason the photosynthesis is basically a must process where everyone else is depending, every living organism is depending. Okay, so represent the above mentioned physiological process, so that is in the form of a chemical equation. So let's have a look at this. So this is photosynthesis, the process by which the glucose is synthesized from carbon dioxide and water in the presence of chlorophyll and a light. So mouse died in bell jar B, that is due to lack of oxygen. So oxygen in the bell jar was used up. Okay, so that is by the burning candle while it gave out the carbon dioxide. So photosynthesis provides food for all living organisms on earth. It also provides life supporting gas. So that's this I did not say. So it is basically the oxygen. Okay, so with the photosynthesis process only we are all getting oxygen for respiration, and that's the reason photosynthesis is a must. Okay, and you can see this is the overall reaction where 6 of the carbon dioxide are used up, so 12 of the water, so there is a production of glucose, water, and then there is production of oxygen which is occurring. Okay, so let's have a look at the next question. So that is, given figure below represents an experiment to demonstrate a particular aspect of photosynthesis. Okay, so this is the figure which is given here. So the alphabet A, so here is the alphabet A, represents a certain condition inside the flask. Okay, and this is again a previous year question. So आज से revision batch start हो रहा है, right? Yes, Divyansh. So from today I'll be starting the revision. Yes. So you can come up with your doubts. So whatever doubts you have, you can ask in plus classes. All right. Okay, so let's have a look at this. So this is a previous year question, and this was asked in the year 2013. So what is the aim of the experiment which is mentioned here? So what exactly are they trying to prove? So identify the special condition inside the flask. So आज मैं join करूँगा class. Sure, Divyansh. Okay. Yes. So any idea on this? What exactly is this? So that is basically what is that they are trying to prove here, and identify the special condition inside the flask. So name an alternative chemical that can be used instead of a KOH, and in what manner do these leaves 1 and 2, okay, so differ at the end of the starch test. Okay, so yes, what exactly is this? So this is basically they are trying to prove that the carbon dioxide is needed for the photosynthesis. So what exactly happens? As this is placed as the leaf, that is leaf number 1, is placed in a glass tube or the conical flask which is containing a KOH. So this is going to absorb all the carbon dioxide. So in that case, basically carbon dioxide is not available for leaf 1, So without the carbon dioxide, so there is no photosynthesis occurring. Okay. So if the photosynthesis does not occur, so basically there is no starch synthesis. I mean, there is no glucose synthesis, there is no starch synthesis. So what exactly are they trying to prove here? To show that the carbon dioxide is needed for the photosynthesis. Okay. And what is the question? So identify the special condition inside the flask. So what is that special condition inside the flask here? So special condition inside the flask is that there is no carbon dioxide inside the flask. Okay. So what exactly happens? All the carbon dioxide is basically absorbed, and that's the reason the KOH is placed, which makes the carbon dioxide unavailable for the leaf there. Okay, so because all the carbon dioxide is used up. So now name an alternative chemical that can be used instead of a KOH. So yes, this is soda lime can be used. Okay, so instead of a potassium hydroxide, so basically soda lime can be used over here. And in what manner do the leaves 1 and 2 differ at the end of the starch test? So you know that when a starch test is done on the leaf, so if a starch is present and it reacts with iodine solution, so you can see there is a blue black coloration. Okay, so you can see formation of a blue black coloration. So that is if a starch is present. So if starch is absent, so what is the coloration? So it is basically brown coloration itself. So in that case, in what manner do leaves 1 and 2? So 1, there is no starch synthesis. So since there is no starch, so it won't change to blue black color. So that means it is basically brown in color. So it will show the brown coloration. The leaf 2 shows the color change. So that is blue black. As a starch present in it is going to react with the solution. So that is iodine solution. Alright. Are you all understanding? Yes. Okay, let's have a look at the other question now. So the given figure here represents an experimental setup that is to study a physiological process in case of plant. So what exactly are they trying to prove here? Because this is, this one is the aquatic plant. Okay, so this is the aquatic plant that they have placed, and the plant is basically a hydrilla has been taken there. Okay. So name the physiological process that is being studied here. So you always, whenever these questions come, so you always have to mention the aim of the experiment. Okay. So what exactly is the aim of the experiment? Like, anyway, photosynthesis is being studied. So what exactly are they trying to prove? So this is the one. So what is the aim of the experiment? So there it is mentioned. The physiological process anyway that they are trying to prove is photosynthesis itself, because as the oxygen is produced, so that oxygen gets collected over here. Okay, so that is because hydrilla is an aquatic plant, and it respires, and also it undergoes photosynthesis process by using the sunlight. So in that case, now carbon dioxide is used up and oxygen is released, which is basically a photosynthesis process. Explain the process. So same thing, using the carbon dioxide and the water in the presence of sunlight and the chlorophyll. So you can see synthesis of glucose that is being done. Alright. So what is the aim of the experiment? Yes, any idea on this? The aim of the experiment? No idea. What is the aim of the experiment? So aim of the experiment shows that it is to prove that the oxygen is released during the photosynthesis process. So what exactly is said? Oxygen release is gonna occur. So oxygen release is occurring. So that is during the photosynthesis. So this we have to prove. How exactly they have proved? So that is by setting up a apparatus where the oxygen gases are collected here at the top. So now you know, if we just hold a flame to this, so basically you can see burning of that flame by using this oxygen. So in that case it will represent that the gas which is produced here, so this is basically a oxygen there. Okay, so give a well balanced equation that is to represent the process. So what is that well balanced equation? So carbon dioxide is used up, 6 of them, 12 of the water in presence of sunlight and chlorophyll. So there is a synthesis of glucose, water, and also there is a release of oxygen which is done there. Alright, any doubt? Are you all understanding? Okay, let's go with the next one. So this is anyway the previous answer itself. So let's just cancel this. So you can just have a look at this. Alright. So the given diagram is a diagrammatic representation of the internal structure of an organelle found in a plant cell. So this is an organelle now. Okay. So study the same and then answer the questions that follow. So here it is labeled 1. Here it is labeled 2 and it is labeled stroma here. It is labeled fret here. So fret can also be called as a stromal lamellae as well. Okay, so this can be the stromal lamellae too. And other than that you can see a membrane. So identify the organelle. Which organelle is this? Yes, anybody? Which organelle is this? Is this mitochondria? Is this chloroplast? Is this Golgi apparatus or endoplasmic reticulum? So what organelle is this? So this is found in green plants. It is specifically, since we are studying about the photosynthesis. So what exactly is this organelle? And the next question is, name the physiological process occurring in this organelle. Mention one way in which this process is beneficial to the man, and name the phases of the process occurring in the part labeled 1 and then the 2. So what exactly is the process there? A chemical substance NADP plays an active part in one of the phases. So give the expanded form of NADP and state its role. So that is in the above process. So represent the physiological process mentioned in 2. So that is, you know, what is the physiological process in the form of a chemical equation. So you need to understand now, so many times they are asking a balanced equation. Okay, so balanced equation of photosynthesis has been asked repeatedly. So it is very important that you know the balanced equation of photosynthesis. Okay, so this is very important, so just practice that, and you know, don't the one which is given in your Selena, so you can just practice that. Okay, so Selena balanced equation you can go ahead with, because the evaluation is again done on the same. So name the physiological process which is mentioned. Just a second, let me just check this. All right, so here in this case, the physiological process occurring in this organelle is the photosynthesis itself. Identify the organelle. So this organelle is chloroplast. Okay, so mention one way in which this process is beneficial to man. So photosynthesis, who doesn't who exactly, like which living organism is not depending on photosynthesis? We all in turn are depending on plant itself for our food. So it is basically a source of food for all of us, be it a vegetarian or a non-vegetarian. So like all of us are depending on plant for the food. Okay, so it gives food and the life-saving gas, which is basically oxygen, so that we require for our respiration process. Okay, so in that case we can just mention that we are getting food, we are getting oxygen, so that is through this itself. All right, so name the phases of the process which are occurring in the one of these. Okay, one second. Yeah. So the name the phases of the process occurring in the part labeled 1 and 2. So 1 is stroma and 2 is membrane. So what exactly occurs in stroma? So stroma, it is dark reaction, and here it is basically a light reaction. So light dependent reaction here and light independent reaction here in the first part. Okay. So the chemical substance NADP plays. So NADP, that is nicotinamide adenine dinucleotide phosphate. NADP picks up the hydrogen ion, that is during the photolysis, to form the NADPH, okay, which later on again the hydrogen is donated in order to form the glucose there. So that is in the dark reaction. So now this is the overall balanced reaction of the photosynthesis that you need to remember. So moving on to next one. Draw a neat and well-labeled diagram of the chloroplast. So this has been asked previously also, that is the structure of the chloroplast that you need to answer here. Okay. So you can just have a practice these diagram based questions there. Just a second. Alright. So, draw a neat and well labeled diagram of the chloroplast. So, how do you draw a chloroplast there? So, let me just show you this. So, whenever you are drawing the chloroplast, just make sure that you draw the double layer structure. Okay, so just make sure that you draw the double layer structure or the double membranous structure here like this. So, this is one membrane over here. Okay. So same way you can just draw another membranous structure, and just don't forget to draw the stroma also. So you can just label it as stroma by keeping the dots, or otherwise you can just go for completely filling this as well. So there is a stroma, but you need not be that artistic while you are under the tensions while you are writing your exam. So you just need not be this artistic. So there is no requirement of shading and all. So just keep few dots and mention that this is stroma, which is basically a semi-fluid like structure or a ground substance which can be found inside this what is this, chloroplast. Okay, so in that case you can just go for the basic labeling which is available. So you need not be artistic like I'm doing now. There is no requirement of shading. Okay, so once you do that, so just label them. So labeling has to be done. So there is this outer membrane and there is a inner membrane. So this is the membrane and this one is the stroma. Okay, and once you label that, so basically you can just go for the drawing of thylakoid. Okay, so that is granum. So we can just draw this like this. So you can just show some grana over here. So this is one thylakoid membrane. So many dish-like structures, what are them? So stromal lamellae you can just show, and again here also you can just show few of the stromal lamellae there. Okay, so this is basically a thylakoid. So interconnecting ones can also be shown. So here now I'll just label this. So now this is having its own DNA as well. Okay, so in that case you can find this to have a DNA, and throughout its structures it will have the ribosomes also. Okay, so it is having its own ribosomes. So some starch granules and all you can show. So that's it. Okay, so you can just have a look at this. So stromal lamellae is mentioned, granum, thylakoid, inner membrane, outer membrane. So in that case I'll just label this. This is only alone which is given here. So this is the thylakoid. So this whole thing is granum. Alright. So this one is the granum. So these two together the term is grana. Alright. And this one is basically the stromal lamellae, or which can even be labeled as a fret. Okay, so we can just or it is, so basically it is a fret also, this can be called as. So these are the different parts. So if you just label this is enough, but yes, you can also label ribosome which is there in the stroma, and the DNA also you can just label it. So this can be done. So this is completely optional. So in draw a neat label diagram is asked. So that is draw a neat and well labeled diagram of the chloroplast. So this is the basic one that you can draw. So two membranes are compulsory, that is outer membrane and inner membrane. Okay, so even if you miss out on drawing one membrane, like you are just drawing only the outer membrane or maybe the inner membrane, so this goes wrong. Okay, so two membrane, it is a double membrane bound structure, so two membranes have to be there, or otherwise this is not considered. So outer membrane and inner membrane should be drawn, and rest of the labeling, so like granum, stroma, stromal lamellae or a fret. So ribosome again you can mention, because chloroplast is having its own ribosome and a DNA, so you can just label, or otherwise even if you skip, so that's completely fine. But this minimum thing has to be there: stroma, stromal lamellae, granum, thylakoid, inner membrane and a outer membrane. All right. So the next question is, list the event taking place in the photochemical phase of photosynthesis. So you can just have a look at this. So photolysis of water occurs. Okay, and when the photolysis of water occurs, there is a proton that is released, H plus ions are released or hydrogen ions are released, and also you can see the others, or otherwise we can just write it like this also. So two of the water molecules break to release four of the hydrogen ions, four of the electrons, and there is a oxygen release. So this can be done. So that is photolysis of water. So splitting up of the water molecule into this part. Okay, so you can just go ahead with this one, because this is mentioned in your Selena textbook. So you can just go ahead with this equation instead of this one. Okay, so better don't go for this, because photolysis of water, the Selena, they have mentioned this equation, so you can just go ahead with that. All right, and this is basically step by step here they have given, so it is also correct only. Okay, so here you can see there is a formation of molecular oxygen where two of the water molecules which are used up, so that is shown. So but you can directly write the one which is given in the Selena, so you can directly go ahead with this one. Okay, and other than that, there is a photophosphorylation occurring, and also there is a formation of NADPH, basically that is by using this hydrogen ion itself. So there is a formation of NADPH, that is by taking the NADP and the electron. So that is by using the electron or the energy from the photolysis. So this electron energy is taken for the ATP synthesis also. This is taken for the NADPH synthesis also. Okay, so will you select the white light or green light? Justify your answer. So if you are planning to experiment, that is to show the effect of light on photosynthesis, why would you select a D-starch plant is asked. Okay, so let me just clear this up. So white light, it has all the wavelength of the visible light. So D-starch plant is used as the control setup. So and that's the reason. So why exactly D-starch plant? Now we want to know whether the photosynthesis is occurring in a plant or not. But anyway, she's taking class here on Unacademy platform. Siddhi, Manisha Kumari ma'am, right? Yeah, so she's taking classes on platform. That is Unacademy platform. Maybe she's not taking here on YouTube. So good evening. All right. So I hope this is clear. So basically you can just take up the classes which are done here on the platform. So she is anyway taking classes on platform. Okay. Maybe for some reason she might not be taking right now on the YT, but she is taking there. Okay. Alright, so draw a neat label diagram, so that is of the experimental setup, to show that the green plants give out the oxygen, that is during the photosynthesis process. Okay, so what exactly is mentioned? So draw a neat label diagram of the experimental setup. So you just have to remember, like Now, not just the structure of the chloroplast, they can also ask you to draw the experimental setup. So this is the possibility, because in previously also this has been asked. So just make sure that you observe each and experiment which is given in your book. Okay. Yes, all right. So to show that the green plants give out oxygen, that is during the photosynthesis. Now give the overall chemical equation. So this is basically a balanced equation that you need to know. Rewrite the terms in the correct order. So water molecules, oxygen, grana, hydrogen, hydroxyl ions and photons are given. So you need to write them in the correct order. Yes? Anybody wants to try it out? So you can just have a look at this. So this is the experimental setup which is given to prove that the oxygen is basically produced during the photosynthesis process or released during the photosynthesis process. And this is the overall balanced equation of the photosynthesis. Now, the photons fall on the grana. Okay. That is especially at the thylakoid where activation of chlorophyll occurs, and then there is water molecule. So the water molecule is nothing but photolysis of the water can be seen. So that those water molecules will give rise to hydrogen and hydroxyl ion, and later on there is a release of the oxygen which is done. Okay. So the diagram is set up to demonstrate an experiment. One second. Okay. So here the diagram is set up to demonstrate an experiment where the pond weed was placed in 5 water filled tubes. So these are basically tubes that they have taken. The experiment was set up as shown in the diagram. So the tubes were then left for about 24 hours. So they have just left this setup for 24 hours. Okay, so write the correct answer. Okay, that is out of the 5 available choices, so that is given under each question. So you can just go ahead with this. So now the first one is mentioned, so the light is given there, like normal range of light. The next two, that is for 1 and 2 test tube, you can find a sufficient amount of light is available, but in 2 they have placed a snail. Okay, and in 3 and 4 test tubes, so yes, there is anyway snail and dim light is provided, but the 5th one basically it is placed in a dark condition. Okay, so water, pond water, and in pond weed is there, and there is a gauze. So basically some just with a hole so that the root growth will be there. All right, so let's have a look at this. In which tube would you expect the greatest increase in dry weight of the pond weed? Which tube, where exactly you can see a greatest increase? No idea? So answer is anyway given here itself. So that is 1. Okay. So why exactly this is 1? Any idea why exactly this is 1? So since the photosynthesis occurs, so there is no oxygen usage by the snail also, because the oxygen whichever is released, so that is again used by the plant itself for its respiration process. So there is a overall increase in dry weight, so that is because of the photosynthesis process that occurs, and this does not feed onto that plant. Okay, and other than that, in which tube would you expect to find that the plant with the least amount of starch? Where exactly do you find the least amount of starch here? So that is in the 5th one, because it is placed in a dark condition and there is no photosynthesis occurring there. So least amount of starch you can find in the 5th one. Okay, and the tube in which in which most oxygen would be found is, so where exactly do you find? So this answer is also done, right? So where exactly do you find most of the oxygen? Here is basically dim light. So again, when we compare here itself, you can find more oxygen, and that's the reason this is the answer where you can find maximum amount of oxygen, because if a snail is there, so that will use up for the respiration process. And here it is very dim light is there, so very less photosynthesis occurs as compared to the bright light there. Okay, and you know the tube in which least carbon dioxide would be found is, where exactly do you find a least carbon dioxide? Yes, no idea. So it is basically, this is answer, so this is D2. Okay, so this D, the answer is 2. All right, why exactly? Because you know whatever carbon dioxide is used up, so that is again used by the plant itself, that is for photosynthesis. Again the respiration occurs here, so all the carbon dioxide is basically used up at the faster pace itself, and that's the reason, so it is second one. The tube in which the plant would survive for the shortest length of time is basically the fifth one, because it is in a dark, so there is no stored food, and you know whatever food is there, so already that is used up. The starch is broken down into glucose, and you know energy supply for the plant is anyway done, so it won't survive for a long period unless and until it is kept in a sunlight again for photosynthesis to occur, and that's the reason it is the fifth one. All right, so let me just go. I was just checking how many questions are left. Let's have a look at this 1 second. Alright, so let's see this. So take a potted plant with variegated leaves, destarch the plant and keep it again in the sunlight. So test it for starch. Yes, take a potted plant, okay, that is with a variegated leaf. So what exactly is variegated leaf? Like, you know, leaf will be there. So a part of the leaf where you can see that. So let's say this is a leaf now. So in this leaf, you can see some of the parts are basically yellowish. Okay, so here and there you can find. So rest of the part which is there, so that is basically, 1 second. Yeah, so rest of the part basically you can find it to be a green one itself. Okay, so this whole thing is gonna be green over here. So this is a variegated leaf, so you can find patches of the other colors also. Okay, so now you know yellow patches are there here and there, so this is a variegated leaves. So here at this yellow position, so the ones that I have drawn here, so this is gonna be yellow. Okay, so this place is gonna have a yellow patches of the leaf, so this is basically a variegated leaf. Okay, so now when variegated leaf it is mentioned, 1 second. Yeah, all right, so destarch the plant and keep it again in the sunlight. So destarching is done, so here they have taken a variegated leaves. Okay, and you know, so test it for the starch. So what exactly happens after the destarching is done? So what is the aim of the experiment? The aim of the experiment says what? Chlorophyll is required or necessary for photosynthesis, because they are trying to prove that the yellow part is not going to synthesize starch. It is only the green part that is synthesizing the starch. I mean the photosynthesis, glucose is being synthesized. Okay, so what happens to the green areas during the starch testing? The green area is going to turn blue black as it reacts with the iodine solution. The yellow area will remain as the brown one when it is tested with the iodine solution, because there is no starch synthesis. So green area turns blue black due to presence of starch. The non-green area turns brown due to absence of starch. Okay, so what happens to the non-green areas during doing the starch testing. So starch testing is done by what? By adding a iodine solution there. Okay. So then how would you account for the presence of starch, that is in some parts of the plant but in absence of other parts? Yes. So how would you account, okay, for the presence of starch in some parts of the plant but absence of the other parts? So in that case, the green areas contain the chlorophyll and can produce the starch, while the non-green areas do not contain chlorophyll and hence they cannot produce the starch. Okay. So moving on to next one. So the figure represents a vertical section of a leaf where they have given the numbers. So there is a cuticle, there is upper epidermis. So this one is palisade mesophyll. Okay, so this is gonna be a palisade mesophyll, and then you can see there is a vascular bundle. The fourth one anyway is xylem, it is mentioned. So xylem and phloem will be there. So this is gonna be xylem, this is gonna be the stoma or the stomata. Okay, so these are the labeling which are mentioned. So palisade tissue or the chloroplast which are mentioned here. So name the parts 1 to 5. So it is cuticle, upper epidermis, palisade mesophyll, xylem, and then the stoma. So how many veins have been shown in this section? So how many veins are shown there? It is only one. Okay. So one vein has been shown because you can see this is the section of the leaf and only one vein is cut, and that's the reason you see this one, and that's the reasons only one vein is shown in over here. So state the function of 4 and 5. So what does the 4 does? So that is transport of water and minerals is done by the 4. And what exactly does the 5 do? So 5 does the function of stoma. Stoma, what is it there? So it is there for the exchange of gases and for transpiration process. This is there. All right. So basically without the stoma, so the exchange of gases for photosynthesis or maybe for respiration itself, through which the exchange of gases can occur, helps in the conduction of water and the minerals. This question is repeated, right? This is anyway asked, like I only had asked this. Alright, so let's see this. So the given figure represents an experiment performed to demonstrate a particular aspect of photosynthesis. So the apparatus was kept in sunlight, that is for almost the whole day. So the what is this? Numeral 1 represents a certain condition. Okay, where exactly is this? This is the one, and that is was kept in the sunlight for almost whole day. So numeral 1 represent a certain condition inside the flask, and the numeral 2 represents a chemical responsible for this condition. Okay, so you can just have a look at this. So what is the object of the experiment, and what is the special condition inside the flask? What is the chemical substance numbered 2 over here? So this is basically KOH. Okay, so what is the special condition inside the flask? All that carbon dioxide is going to get absorbed because there is a KOH, and this leaf is not going to get any of the carbon dioxide, so there is no photosynthesis occurring. And since photosynthesis is not occurring there, so there is no starch production. Okay, so this will remain brown, and this is going to react with the iodine solution where it is going to turn blue black. Okay, so in what way will the three leaves, that is A, B and C, differ at the end of the experiment when tested with the iodine solution? So name the process which is a reverse of photosynthesis, that is in terms of end products. So write the overall chemical equation for the process named above. So to show that the carbon dioxide is necessary for photosynthesis, Okay, so the special condition is that the flask is free from carbon dioxide, that is, as the chemical substance absorbs all the carbon dioxide present in the air. So now the chemical substance is basically the potassium hydroxide. So when tested with iodine in leaf B and C, the starch will show, the starch will be tested, and while in leaf A there is no starch. Okay, so since KOH absorbs all the carbon dioxide, so no photosynthesis occurring there. Fifth question is what? Name the process which is reverse of the photosynthesis. Yes, it is respiration, and this is the overall equation. So write the overall chemical equation for the process. So you can just write a balanced equation there. Okay. Alright, so let's have a look at this. So explain the structure of chloroplast, which I have already done. Just a second. Okay, so explain the structure of chloroplast. The structure of chloroplast is basically oval in shape. Alright, it is bound by two membranes. So there has to be two membranes. There is the outer membrane and there is the inner membrane. The ground substance present in the chloroplast is stroma. Okay, so there are disc-like closed sacs which are present there. So that are called as thylakoids. So thylakoids are nothing but a disc-like closed sacs which are there. So those are a thylakoid. So many thylakoids are placed one above the other like a stack of coins, which is called as a granum. Extending throughout the stroma, system of membranes are present, so that are called as lamellae, and these lamellae are joined to the thylakoid. Okay, so this is the structure of chloroplast. You can just label the lamellae, the granum, the outer membrane and the inner membrane here. So this is O and M. So outer membrane and inner membrane. So from lamellae or the fret is anyway going to be the same itself. So this can be called as the lamellae as well. So stroma is the ground substance. So thylakoid is there. So many of them are there. So it is basically a grana. So grana is, this is a singular term, granum. Okay. So since many you find, so grana plural term is grana there. Okay. So grana is the plural term. Alright, so before I end this session, let me just say about the batches that we have. So this is about the gladiators batch, which is starting from today itself, where we are conducting revision sessions right from today. Okay, so you can just take up the revision sessions and you can enroll for this. So we'll be starting the revision from the very beginning. So this is all subject batch where physics, maths, chemistry and biology will be covered. So if you are subscribing for class 10, so you will be getting class 11 and class 12 subscription absolutely free, and the mode of delivery here is English. Okay, so there is a limited period offer for ICSE and ISC learners, where you can take, the duration is basically 12 months if you are going. So basically you will be getting 1 month free extension and 3 months extension on Creative Corner. So respective month, for how long you are taking up the subscription, and respective months of extension on Creative Corner as well as plus classes are mentioned here. So this one is a plus class extension and this one is basically a Creative Corner extension. So you can get your subscription before the Creative Corner price hike. Okay, so in that case this is gonna go up to July 5th. It is basically starting. Okay, that is yesterday. July end, 8th is the end of this offer. So you can just plan ahead, plan before 8 itself and go for the subscription. So before the price hike happens, so you can just go ahead with this one. So the referral code is Vani YT, where you can get 10% discount on the subscription. So this is a combo offer where you can start your preparation early for class 10, and with that you can also start preparing for your competitive exams, so that is JEE, NEET as well as NTSC, which is a 1 year subscription together. And the cost is reduced from 34,500 to 31,050, and with the referral code Vani YT, so further you will be getting a discount of 10%. So now these are the current prices, that is for 12 months it is 17,250, and for 9 months it is this amount. So you can just plan well. Maybe you can go for 1 or 2 years of subscription well before itself, because there is a price hike that is coming soon. So price hike coming soon, which is a big announcement for ICSE. So act fast to save on your preparation. So you can subscribe now and use the code Vani YT to get 10% discount on the subscription. Okay, so introducing community, never miss on any update from your favorite educator. Get session notes and practice material. Share your feedback directly with the educator via poll, and check out the link to the educator community below. So there you will find, in the description you will find the link for the community. And also this is an opportunity for all learners to report any inappropriate content in the video, which is basically a bucks bounty. So be the first one to report a particular issue to claim your prize. Report any inappropriate content in the video, basically that is by using the form in the description again. Okay. Alright, so we are done with today's session. So whatever doubts you have, you can just get your doubts clarified. You can even join my Telegram channel, that is Vani Kari ICSE Class 9 and 10 Biology. So whatever doubts you have, you can get it clarified. So if you just need this note, so you can just send me a message on my Telegram or community, so that I can send this PDF. Okay, so subscribe to our channel, that is Unacademy ICSE and ISC boards. Click on bell icon to get notified about the session. Download the Unacademy Learners app now. Like and share the video. So this PDF, like I already said, so you can just take it, or you can just message me on my Telegram or community, so that I can send the PDF over there. Alright, so see you all in the next session. Thank you everyone. Bye bye. Take care.